How to hold virtual office hours through Schoology. Are you beginning your journey into online learning with students? We will take a look at how you can hold virtual office hours with students, staying connected with them throughout their learning process in Schoology. We will explore the Backchannel Chat app, the Conferences app, and setting up discussions to encourage communication and collaboration. Two types of communication in the online learning setting are asynchronous and synchronous communication. Asynchronous communication takes place over time and does not require an immediate response from teachers or peers. So things like discussions and direct messaging would be asynchronous communication. Whereas synchronous communication takes place while learning and allows for real-time discourse on a topic or subject matter. So using tools like the Conferences app and Backchannel Chat app would be considered synchronous communication. Some different ways that you can utilize synchronous and asynchronous communication in your Schoology courses can be seen here. Students and teachers can connect, collaborate, clarify, and critically think using online communication strategies. Now let's take a look at how we can use these modes of communication to host virtual office hours for students in Schoology. All right, we are going to learn about 3 ways that you can hold virtual office hours within Schoology. The first thing I want to show you is how to access some of our apps that you can push out to your classroom that your students can jump into so that you can have different types of communication with them throughout their learning days. If you have not been to our App Center, the App Center can be found in the top of your navigation toolbar here. It is the little icon that looks like 4 windows. When I click on that, I can then select the App Center button. Within the App Center, a couple of the apps that you may want to push out to your class can be the Backchannel Chat app and then our Conferences app. Both of these work well within the Schoology platform. Your students don't have to exit the platform in order to use them. So if I scroll down, one of the first ones that I'll come across here is my Backchannel Chat app. By clicking on the title here, it then takes me to the app's information, and you'll notice just below the title of the app, there's a blue button that says Install App. If this has not been pushed out to you by your district people, this is where you can come in. You can select Install App. You can select I agree, and then you'll select Install for me. From here, you just want to look for the course that your students are enrolled in, that you're going to have them be jumping into participate in content with you. So if you notice here, all of these checkboxes next to my different courses, they are already selected. But if I'm scrolling through and I notice that one of them is not selected, I can check that off and it will push this particular app out to that course. So then when I'm done, I can then select Install, and now that app has been pushed out to that class. If I select back up here on the App Center icon, then I can select the App Center button, and then I can go do the same for our Conferences app. And the Conferences app looks just like this. So then by selecting this, title, Conferences, I would do the same here, select Install App, select I agree, and then Install for me. And then again, this is where I would go in and I can select my different courses that I want to push this out to, and then select Install. Now, once I have installed the app, I can then go back to my courses at the top, go to the course in which I'm going to be utilizing with my students, and then I can then begin to interact with my kiddos in a synchronous style of learning through the Backchannel app and the Conferences app. All right, now when it comes to online communication, we have 2 different types of online communication. We have asynchronous, which means that the communication is not occurring at the same time as the learning. So this could be in the form of a discussion that's been posted to your students in Schoology. It could also be a direct message that's sent to them, or like an update that's posted and you are asking the students to respond to you. So it doesn't have to be happening simultaneously with the learning. We also have synchronous communication, which this is where communication is taking place at the same time as the learning. So we have some different applications within Schoology, like the Conferences app and the Backchannel Chat app, where you can be teaching and then students can be having a conversation with you or with each other alongside of the learning. The first application I want to take you through that Schoology offers for synchronous communication, remember this is communication that takes place alongside of the learning at the same time, is the Backchannel Chat app. Schoology has a partnership with the Backchannel Chat app, and you are able to push that out to your class, or your district admin can push that out to your courses. Let me just share a few tidbits with you about what this particular app offers. It has the option to do teacher moderation, being able to lock the chat room to students for teacher control of the pace of the discussion. You're also able to moderate in a manner where you can allow or approve students' comments throughout the discussion posts. We also have a profanity filter, transcripts that can be printed out through the web format. You can also auto-embed media, so you can paste in things like YouTube, Flickr, SlideShare links, and the tool auto-loads the relevant media. We also have message amplification, where students can actually vote up messages to highlight their interests. We have message pinning. This is where teachers can actually, let's say they want to draw attention to a particular comment, or they want to ask a question of the class and they want the students to see that at the very top of the discussion area or the back chat channel. They can actually pin it to the top, so then all the students' posts and comments will filter beneath that. But that particular pinned comment or post will stay highlighted up at the top. We also have the ability to search within the discussion for keywords, terms, and phrases. All right, here we are in our Schoology classroom, and we are going to take a look at how to run a Backchannel Chat in Schoology. Once the app has been pushed out to your course, whether you have installed it or it has been pushed out through your district, you will find it over on the left-hand side menu. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this Backchannel Chat button. And that is going to take us to the back channel where students and teachers can interact synchronously during the learning day. So a back channel chat would be a great way for you to engage your students in conversations about what they are learning in the materials that you've posted for them. It can be a great way to share different resources, embedded video links, slides that you want the students to have conversations about. Back channels can also provide a great way for students just to connect and share what's going on as they are learning at home. Let me take you on a tour of the back channel setup here. So you'll see here in the center of the screen, this is where all of the posts or comments that students or yourself put in, this is where they land. And as more posts are put in, they will float beneath one another. The typing area or the text field area is down here at the bottom. This is where students can go in, you can put in your text. You can either hit send or enter, and you don't have a text or character limit. So that is really great, especially if you're wanting students to maybe evaluate some text, or you're wanting them to share maybe some paragraphs about what they're learning, debriefing each other on different topics, or maybe even debating over different things. There's not a character limit here. As I move around over here on the right-hand side of the Backchannel Chat, this is your user's dashboard. Currently, I am the admin. I'm the moderator for this course, so you can see my name up here at the top, and it is highlighted green. That lets me know that I am the moderator. Your students' names or other participants in the course will float right beneath that moderator's name. And those kiddos, they won't be highlighted in green, but if you wanted to, let's say as you're viewing your different students, maybe you have a student who needs to just stop posting, maybe they need to take a minute and do some reading, or maybe they're posting some unsavory things and you want to kind of put that to a halt for a moment. If you look to the right of the student's name, you'll see user settings, and I'm going to use myself currently because I don't have any other participants in here with me at the moment. But if I click on this user settings, you'll see that it shows me a picture of the user. That's because I have a picture uploaded in my profile. It gives me the user's name and their role. I currently don't have any other options, but if you were looking at a student, there would be a checkbox here, and inside of that checkbox, it would actually allow you to select read-only mode. So students that, again, maybe are posting things that you are feeling are inappropriate posts, or maybe, again, you just want to kind of slow them down. You want them to read what other people are posting and kind of think about the topics and the information's being shared. You can come in and select that read-only mode option for that student and then select update. When you do that, the student's name will appear in red, and that just is a reminder for you that the student is in read-only mode. To take that mode off, you would go back to the user settings. You would deselect or make sure that the read-only mode is not selected any longer, and then update that user setting for that student, and then they would return to the ability to be able to type and post in the Backchannel Chat. All right, so taking a look here now at the center, we can see I've already posted for my students, so I want them to share the most meaningful thing they've learned today, share why it was meaningful, and how they can apply it to other areas that they are learning about. Again, this is not the most engaging post, but I just put this in here so that you can see how the post works. I have a few options when looking at the post. You'll notice that just to the right of my name, it'll give me an amount of time that the post was put in to the Backchannel Chat. There's also a little thumb, like the like you see on the Facebook page. By clicking that, I can actually vote up different posts that students have put in, or students can even vote up each other's posts. So if you're doing some brainstorming and you're wanting students to pick their top 5, you can have them come in and they can click on that finger and you'll see the number appear to the right of that thumb, letting them know that they've made the vote for that one particular post. As I move across, you'll see here I have a little information about this particular message. If I click on that information option, this tells me who created the post and how long ago it was put into the back channel. And then it also shows me who voted for this post. So if I'm going in and I want to see, did maybe little Jim put in, 5 votes, and I feel like maybe he only did 1, I can come in and kind of see, what did he follow directions or not. I can go back and close that. If I want my students to be able to see this particular post, it has the directions that they're going to need to read, and I don't want this comment or this post to get lost in the feed of all the other back channel posts, then what I can do is select this push pin button. By selecting the push pin button, this is going to pin what I am asking the students to do, or my post, up here at the top. So then as other posts filter in down below, I might be seeing the feed and it might be kind of going crazy because kids are posting like fiends. We can cross our fingers, right? And my post will stay up here at the top so the kids don't lose the directions or the idea of what they're supposed to be doing while they're posting. Now, maybe as we're going through, I'm reading what some of the kiddos are sharing, and they are sharing some great ideas, and I want to bring one to light. If I decide that I want to remove this post from the pinned position, all I have to do up here above this line is select the X, and it takes that and unpins that post, but it doesn't delete the post entirely. So if I go down and I post my thoughts, I could go back up and now I can pin this one, and you'll notice it's still down here, but it's also pinned to the top so that it doesn't get lost. Now, let's say as we're going through, you have some students that are, again, maybe posting some unsavory things, and you are really wanting to see You want to have a record of what those kiddos are posting. You have the ability up here at the top in the settings area, you can go in and you can actually download a transcript of the back channel chat. So if I select download transcript, you'll see it gives me some premium options, which I don't have. I have the free version, but then I also have the web transcript version. By selecting the web transcript version, it takes me to a new tab where all of my posts for this particular back channel have been shared. And I can right-click on this page. I can select my print option, and from here I can just follow my basic print settings to print out a PDF or save a PDF. I can save it to my Google Drive, or if you have your OneDrive linked to this, you have whatever options are available to you based on whatever your computer setup is. You can save that transcript. And again, it's just a web transcript version of the back channel chat. So from here, once I've decided what I'm going to do, I can either select save, or I'm going to select cancel for now. And then I can get back over to my course. I'm going to close this tab, and then I'm back over to my course, and I still have my transcript settings window open. So all I have to do from here is select close if I want to jump back into posting in the back channel chat. I can also come in to this transcript settings and I can clear the room, which that means I'm just taking all the comments out at one time. Instead of going through and deleting each one independently, I can actually come in and just clear the room at one time. I'm going to go ahead and select close. Now, to show you how to clear each comment independently, because I am an administrator or the moderator for this back channel chat, if I wanted to get rid of a post after I've created a transcript, I can come over and select the X on that post, and then I can just select yes, okay, delete it, and it removes it. Students don't have the luxury of deleting the posts themselves, only I have that luxury. Some other features to share with you about the back channel chat. In settings, we also have chat stats. So if I want to come in and see how many posts students have made in our particular back channel chat, I can see here it shows me my name, my picture. It also tells me how many messages I've posted. Now, yes, you don't see 8 messages in my back channel chat right now, but this is in total or summation of all of the different posts that I put in here in the last, I guess, hour, because I've been kind of playing around with it. So yeah, you can see I've posted 8 messages. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I can also go into settings, and if I select the options from the menu, I can change the room title. I can also give my room a password. I can show as users enter or leave my back channels. I can have that kind of let me know that they're entering or leaving. I can also allow embedded materials. So this is where you can put in YouTube videos and the students can access it right from the back channel chat. I can put in slides, Flickr, just anything that would be an embeddable tool that the students would need to access, and I wanted them to access here, I can post it here. Student control and polls, those are both premium features, but the messaging piece, if I click on messaging, you'll notice here, this will allow me to moderate every message. So depending upon the size of the group that you're working with, you may want to approve or deny every message that kiddos are posting, but if you have a large group of kiddos and that's not a possibility, then you obviously don't have to have this selected. But if I do change any of my settings, or if I change anything about my room settings, I will want to come and select the update option once I've done that. Now let me show you how you can embed a YouTube video or like slides, anything that you would want to share for your students to access. So let's say I wanted to have my students watch a video on a chemistry topic, and I'm going to share this YouTube video. It's just Intro to Chemistry, Basic Concepts. So I want to go to the share button for the video, and all I have to do is grab the URL. I don't need to grab an embed code. I just need to grab the URL. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back over to my course, and in the back channel chat, I'm going to post my directions. So I'm going to say, all right, so I put my directions in, And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paste in that link. So directions and then URL from the video. And then when I select send, you'll notice my video pops right in here. So now my kiddos can come in, they can just watch the video right here. They don't even have to leave the back channel chat. And now I can just watch the kiddos interacting with each other. I can share directions for how I want them to respond to one another. It's really just up to you and how deep in you get in with your directions. And if you remember, because this is my main post and I want my kids not to get lost in the back channel chat with what the directions are and then with each other's comments, it might be the best idea if I come up and I pin this particular piece to the top so that then their posts are flowing beneath, but they're still able to see the video and they're still able to see the directions that they need to follow. All right, so if you are looking for ways to use back channels in your classroom, and this is obviously a virtual classroom scenario, you can use it to ask questions, answer questions, add details, make clarifications, respond to students, encouraging peer support, taking group notes, brainstorming. Some of the more beneficial pieces I even think are sharing links. Students can go back and give peer feedback on documents and things that they're working on, informal assessments, exit or ticket polling, student responses. The students can be working on projects. If they're a Google district and they're making a Google site, they could share their Google site link. If they are a OneDrive district, they could be sharing their sway with each other and being able to go in and look at each other's work and comment on it and giving peer feedback. You can also crowdsource information on different topics inside of back channels, and it's a quick way to gather a lot of information in real time for those students. So back channels, again, are just a great tool to use for that synchronous communication piece in your classroom. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at using the Conferences app. So in my course, you'll see here, this is my main course page. For students to access the Conferences app, once it has been pushed out, either I've pushed it out through the Apps Resource Center or my district has pushed it out to me. I can find the app location over here on the left-hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Conferences app. And you'll notice right now at the top, once the Conferences app pops up in Schoology, I have an active space. So these are conferences that I've created, but they haven't taken place yet. And then we have a completed conferences space. Setting up conferences is really simple. All you have to do is select Create New Conference. And then this is where you would want to think about, when are you going to be meeting with your students? How long do you want to give them these virtual office hours to kind of have those conversations with you? You'd have to be present during that time. So you just give your conference a name. You give your conference a start time and a date. And if you want to give it an end time, just so students know what your availability is going to be, you just click on that Add End Time and then select Create. So you'll see here, it gives me my date and my time, and it also lets me know that this conference has not been started. If I need to edit a conference, all I have to do is select the settings wheel to the right, select Edit, and then I can come in and I can make those changes. If I also need to delete a conference, that is also under the settings wheel here. All right, so when I'm ready to start my conference, all I have to do is select Start Conference. And it's going to ask me how I want to join the audio. Do I want to use the microphone or listen only? Students will see this also when they jump in. And I'm going to select Allow. All right, so now that I'm here, I'm just going to show you around. Because I'm the only one in the conference, you won't see other users, but I can show you where those users will be located. So at the top here, you'll notice where it says messages, public chat is selected. So over here, just to the right of this menu on the left, you can see here, this is where your public chat would take place. So students can actually have those synchronous conversations with you. It's kind of like a back channel chat here. As you're doing some teaching, maybe you have your webcam on, you might be showing them a video from YouTube through the Conferences app. They can actually post questions to you in the public chat here. And I can see who's posting, which is really nice. Over on the left, if I wanted to have notes that I wanted to give to my students, I can select the shared notes option. This is where they can all come in and collaboratively share thoughts and ideas about whatever we're learning. I can have them do some brainstorming here. They can post to each other through here, and I can monitor what is being shared in this shared notes section. So they will have access to the shared notes as well. Down under users, this is where we would see all of our students that are participating. You'll notice with the users, I have a blue icon here that lets me know that I'm the presenter, and you can see that my microphone is turned on. I would see students' initials here, the first couple letters of their name, and then their name next to it. And if they are able to speak, their little microphone will be green. If I've muted them or if they've muted themselves, their microphone down in that bottom right corner will be red. If I click on this settings wheel up above, I can actually mute all users. I can mute all users except for the presenter. I can save usernames. I can lock specific users or viewers if I wanted to. And then also from this location, I can create breakout rooms and I can do some closed caption writings. So if you look at the name of the participant or the user, if I click on this name, you can see that I have a set status option. When I click on this, this allows me to put in whether I'm away, I can raise my hand, undecided, confused. So you could use this as a check-in with your students as you are doing your online video conferencing with them. If they choose a status, it will show here where my initials were, that my hand is raised. If you have multiple students maybe raising their hand or you've done a check-in with them, you can actually come back up to the settings wheel here, and then you can clear all status icons, and then it moves their initials back into the box next to their name. It also lets you know over here that they're clearing out the status of those icons. So we've covered public chat, shared notes, and we've looked at the settings wheel. If you look over here in the space to the far right, this is where if you upload a presentation or if you're sharing a video with your students or you want them to do some interactive whiteboard writing with you, this is where all of this will take place. So if you look down at the bottom, there is a little actions button down here, a plus symbol. By clicking on this, this allows me to do a couple of different things. I can actually share an external video from YouTube, Khan Academy, wherever I would get the video link from. If I click on that, it just asks me to put the video URL in there. And then I can select share a new video. So now I can tell my students that I want them to watch this video about the introduction to quadratic equations. When they're done, I could do the status check-in with them. I can have them take the shared notes here. I can also have them post questions to me in the synchronous format for the public chat. When they are done with the video, I can actually stop sharing that video with them. I can upload a presentation for the students. I can just click and drag it into this space, or I can come in and I can browse for files. When I'm done, I could select confirm. I'm going to go ahead and just close this out. I can also, once a video is over with or once I've taught maybe a particular task, I can select this actions button and I could start a poll for students. Now, if I had polling questions that were inserted into my slides, I could have that pop in and then I can go up and say, I want to do a yes or no question, and then my students on the student end would actually see that they needed to vote. Let me go on. If you notice down here, it's it's showing that I am talking currently, but if I wanted to mute myself, I can click on the mute button. I can also leave audio from behind. I can share my webcam. I can also do some screen sharing here. So you'll notice right now the screen sharing option is turned off. If I click on this, then it will actually show what I am viewing here. It'll ask me which window do I want to share. I have several windows open, so if I clicked on application window, it's going to let me choose. I can also choose a Chrome tab, which is nice. So if I wanted to just switch right over into maybe a web page that I wanted the students to visit, I can come here and I can click on that. All right. Up in the top right corner, we have these option buttons here. I do want to show you that you can make your Big Blue button or your conferences full screen. You can change some settings. They do have some keyboard shortcuts, and there's also a help that will pop out. If you have other questions or you need more assistance with how to use the Conferences app, you can always go to the help section. If I'm ready to end a meeting, I can come and select end meeting right here. I can also log out. One of the most important pieces is going to be that as you are working with your students, you may want them to follow along with what you're doing. You'll notice right now I have, as under my hand, there's like a little laser pointer. If I wanted to do some writing, or I wanted to put some text on the screen or draw some shapes, I do have here where this little toolbar is over on the right hand side. I have my tools section. So let me go ahead and switch over to a clear page. And all I did was click down here where it says slides. Okay, I have the tools option selected. If I wanted to do some writing, I can choose the pencil size. I can also choose the color. And I can do my writing. And I am using my mouse right now, just so you know. If I want to undo, I can just take that away. So if I had slides that I had created and I had uploaded into the slide deck here, then I can go through and I can annotate those slides, point specific things out, circle them, highlight them for the kiddos so they see exactly what I'm trying to draw their attention to. If I decide I want to clear everything off, maybe I've put a lot of annotations on there. I want to clear some things off so the kids get a clean view of the slide. I can just select the trash can. That'll clear everything off at once. I also have down below is this multi-user whiteboard. So when I turn this on, this allows everyone to get on at one time. So now everyone would have this pencil option. They would have the drawing thickness and the colors, and they can all come in, and you'll see where I'm writing, it shows my name. So then I know who all is participating with me in this particular whiteboard. If I want to clear everything off when we're done, the admin of the conference, I can come in and select this clear option. If I want to end the multi-user whiteboard, I just select this bottom button again, and now it's just me that can come in and annotate, no students. So let's say I am going to do this presentation, this conference with my students, and I want to make sure that they have access to it using the free version or this particular version of conferences. I can come in and I can actually record it, and because this is the free version of conferences, I can keep the recording for up to 7 days. So if you look up at the top, let's say all of my students have checked in, I've had them do a quick status check with me. Over on the right-hand side here, I've told them, tell me how you're feeling today. Everybody has said, oh, I'm feeling happy, or however they're feeling. And I tell them, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start recording, so that way you can come back and view this throughout the week if you need help or you have questions. All I have to do is come up to the top and select the Start Recording option. It's going to tell me I can pause the recording throughout if I need to. So now my recording is taking place. And if I need to pause it, all I have to do is select the pause button. And now that I am done, it's not being recorded anymore. I can come over, and if I wanted to, I can end the meeting, and my recording will be housed in my Schoology course. And I'll show you where that takes place. Really quickly, if you wanted to set up those breakout rooms to do that, remember we talked about selecting that settings wheel. and we can come here and create these breakout rooms. I can choose the number of rooms that I want to set up. I can choose how long I want those rooms to last. I can select to randomly assign the students, or I can come in and I can just move the students around by dragging and dropping their names from one room to the next to choose where I want that student to be. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you where you can house, where those recordings are housed in Schoology. So if I go back over to my course, you'll see here, it's showing me right now, it's saying, do I want to end the conference? So I'm going to go ahead and end that social studies conference. And if I go up to, I'm back in my course now, we have that active space. If I select completed, you'll see here I have my conferences that I have saved. So if there was a recording that had been saved for that particular conference, it would appear here so that the students could come back in and they can view it. All right, so for the Schoology conference app for the free version, just some things to note about what you have available to you. In the real-time media, you're able to do the audio, the video, you have the chat box, you are able to import slides, and you can do the screen sharing. Tools that engage the students. Again, you have that back-channel chat basically that's taking place. You are able to raise hands and show different statuses for your students. So you have those different emojis that they can choose from. You're able to poll your students, have the shared notes, and then that multi-user whiteboard that students can interact on, and then those breakout rooms. You do have the JAWS screen reader for accessibility, and this works with really phones, it works with iPads, with Chromebooks, whatever technology the students have available to them. Other video conferencing tools that you can use in the place of Schoology conferences or Zoom would be Google Hangouts and Microsoft Teams. Schoology does partner with many companies to do remote learning, so just be mindful, try different things that work for you, and remember that Schoology can be a great hub for your online learning needs for your students. Another great way to interact with your students is through discussions in Schoology. A great idea would be to post a collaboration cafe or a virtual parking lot where students can come in and they can share different thoughts about maybe some of the learning that you've posted for them. I'm just going to show you quickly how to set up a discussion, and then I'll give you a couple of examples to look at. So here I am in my course. I'm going to just go ahead and jump into a folder. And inside of my tools for asynchronous communication folder here, I'm just going to go ahead and turn that arrow down. You can see I have a couple of discussion boards in here already, but if I wanted to add a new one, I have a couple of ways to go about that. I can select the green dotted line here, or I can go up and select add materials. By doing the plus symbol with the green dotted line, this actually lets me choose exactly where this is going to go instead of creating it and then having to drag it and drop the item that I've created into the location I want it to be in. So I'm going to go ahead and select this, and then I'm going to select Add Discussion. And again, just a great way to get the kids talking to you, talking to each other would be like a collaboration cafe. So in here, my directions might be something along the lines of, as you're doing your learning from home this week or next week, and as you're coming across different tasks or maybe different difficulties, share those things out. What are some struggles that you're having? What are some successes that you're having? What are some new things that you've learned, maybe about yourself or about your family during this time? So I can put my directions in here. Okay, so again, I can use my bulleted list, I can use a numbered list. It just depends on how you want to organize your information. Okay, and I can go on and list all the different reasons why I would want students to post, and I can select create, and my new discussion board that I've just set up, my collaboration cafe, will appear down here. Now I'm just going to show you a couple of other examples that I've already created. So this collaboration cafe here shows during our time away from school, if you find that you have wonderings about topics discussed, thoughts about procedures that were shared, great ideas, resources and links that tie into the learning from the day, please share those questions, thoughts, information here. It just talks about getting others involved in the learning and the sharing. And then I also have a virtual parking lot. This is just another way, same format, but just another way to title it. So a virtual parking lot, just a place to come and pose those questions, share comments, concerns, thoughts with you. It's going to be really important that you are connecting with your students during this time while they're away from the building. And this is a great way to do that.